What is up? It's your boy Johnny Shreve, IFBB Pro, Mr. Tell Like It Is. Welcome back to another episode of Straight Talk with Shreve. Guys, today we're going to talk about cardio versus weight training, resistance training, what to prioritize first. Now, also we're going to talk about if you only could choose one or the other, what would you choose? We're also going to talk about the pros and cons of training without cardio and doing cardio without training. And then we're going to chat about how good or bad, or I would say optimal or suboptimal nutrition will affect your cardio or your training. Anyway, guys, let's dive right into it. Now, when it comes down to it, if you're looking at what to prioritize first, we're going to do like a couple scenarios here. First scenario is obviously, what are your goals? Are you trying to run, a marathon at a certain time? Are you trying to lose fat? Are you trying to get better at some type of cardiovascular activity? Well, then you're going to prioritize that first. Based on what you're going to do. Again, when it comes down to it, if you're trying to burn fat or whatever, you're going to burn way more calories doing an hour, 30 minutes to an hour of cardio than you would in a training session. So if your goal is to lose fat, to run a longer or a faster time, or to get a better overall cardiovascular health, then you're going to prioritize that first, and you're training after. Now, when it comes to building muscle, it's the obvious, right? If your goal is to build muscle, well, then you're going to prioritize building muscle first, right? You're going to prioritize training or whatever it is that you're trying to do in terms of creating, aesthetics or, putting on more muscle or getting stronger, whatever that is, you're going to prioritize that first. So if it's like this. If you're at work and all of a sudden your meetings or something went longer or someone held you back, you're like, man, I only got 30 minutes to do what I need to do. This sucks. Well, if your goal is to lose fat or get better at running or, whatever, you're going to do your cardio, right? If your goal is I need to put on muscle and I need to, I'm in a bulk or whatever it is, then you're going to train. And your 30-minute training session, maybe it's 30, 45 minutes, is going to be like, yeah, maybe you can do 2 exercises and do probably 4 sets. You can do 8 hard sets within 30 minutes to 45 minutes easily. And that would basically be what you would do to target muscle growth, right? Now, if you're wondering, what I should do if I'm just trying to build muscle, Johnny, should I put my cardio before my training or after? You're going to put your cardio after, right? You want to give yourself the most amount of energy you can when you're training, prioritizing that. Now, if you have all the time in the world, for those who are out there maybe bodybuilding, or maybe not bodybuilding, you have more time, then I will just split up your cardio completely. Do your cardio session in the morning or your training session in the morning, then your cardio session at night, or your training session at night. When it comes down to it, if you had to pick one, well, it all depends on your goals, obviously. But if we're looking at like holistic health standpoint, period, a mix of both is idea, but if push comes to shove, if you could only do one, really, when it comes down to it, weight training has shown have very high metabolic benefits, bone density improvements, and muscle retention, especially as we get older. So yes, 100%. Let's say even for the elderly, for the older population or the elderly population, if they can get out and run, that'd be great. But if they could only do, you definitely want to, at that age, it's still gonna be something very challenging, but very much needed in terms of keeping muscle on, bone density, avoiding stuff like osteoporosis. Hey, what's good, people? Struggling to keep up with your routine, or you feel like you're just spinning the wheels? Well, you came to the right place. Check out the link in the description below for my customized one-time training or nutrition plans. I'm also offering online coaching with weekly check-ins and unlimited contact with myself. And look, if you don't want to dive in right away and you have some questions, book yourself a video call with myself, and at the end of the consult, I deduct off any package that you pick. Anyway, guys, let's get back to the show. Now, let's talk about pros and cons of each without the other. Let's talk about cardio pros. Obviously, cardio pros are going to increase your cardiovascular health. So when you're training, or say you want to train, or whatever it is, you can last longer. You're not going to get winded. Doing anything in your everyday life won't seem as hard when it comes to, doing yard work, or cleaning around the house, or walking outside, whatever it is, right? It's obviously going to enhance your calorie burn. So if your goal is to lose fat, your best bet to burn calories is by doing cardio. Now, when it comes to your cardio, it's definitely going to improve your mood and mental health. Everyone's talking about the runner high people get, or just how much it feels, how good it feels when you're finished doing cardio or doing cycling, whatever. All those great positive endorphins that are going off when you're going through the action, or even when you've completed it. You feel like you've conquered something, right? All those great pros for cardio. Now, what are some cons for cardio by itself? Potential muscle loss, right? If you're definitely not, feeding yourself properly in terms of like eating the right amount of calories and protein, overdoing your cardio, you can't put yourself in jeopardy of losing muscle. You could always, this could lead to, continuous muscle strain. Say you have a ankle injury or a nagging something in the knee or hip or something, whatever. Cardio on its own could exacerbate that. Right, without strengthening the joints and the legs, cardio on its own can be halted. Your progress can be halted by not having strong bones from resistance training. Right now, let's talk about weight training pros. Obviously, weight training pros. Everyone knows that weight training, both. It's very obvious from both pros, either cardio or weight training. But obviously, muscle growth and retention, keeping the muscle on and building the muscle, increase the metabolic rate. The more muscle you carry around, the more calories you burn at a rested state. So me sitting here with all my muscle, I'm burning sometimes more calories than the person that doesn't have as much muscle as I do in a rested state, right? So let's talk about like stronger bones, reduce risk of osteoporosis. Those specifically are going to aid to a overall better, longer life when you have stronger bones, stronger muscles, avoiding things like osteoporosis and also dementia, Alzheimer's. All of those I just listed can be avoided by weight training. Now, weight training by itself, the cons. Potential slower in weight loss. If your goal is to lose weight and you're using your chest day as your cardio, you're not going to burn that many calories. Not that much at all. So you might get, discouraged if your goal is to lose a bunch of weight and you're not losing any weight because you're doing maybe resistance drop sets and supersets, and you think that's going to, you're definitely going to burn calories, but not as much as you would if you're doing cardio. Obviously, risk of injury. If you're training too hard or carelessly, you can get injured. Especially if you're doing, you're training and you don't have that good of cardiovascular health. You're getting winded in between sets or during sets, and, when you get winded, you start thinking about that instead, and all of a sudden your form's off and you're rushing through your sets, and all of a sudden you get injured. Right. Let's talk about nutrition's role for, if I can only pick one. So if we're looking at like cardio and good nutrition, obviously you're going to have better, longer runs, replenish loss of glycogen. When you're running, obviously when you're running, good nutrition, after you replenishing those things with the good nutrition, it helps aid to recover. When you're eating the proper amounts of protein, carbs, and fats, it's going to help with your body recovering after going for a long run. So let's talk about cardio and bad nutrition. Well, the opposite, basically. Very easy. It's going to slow down your progress in terms of recovery. Potential muscle loss. If you're doing cardio and you're not eating, we're talking about bad or suboptimal nutrition. That means like you're probably not eating enough protein, or maybe even not enough calories, and you're only running, you're at potential of losing muscle, right? So we want to make sure we're fueling properly. And then again, if you say you're doing cardio, or you're about to do a cardio class of some sort, or I'll say exercise class. What are those things called? Cardio class. You're doing like a group X class or whatever, and you eat some garbage before, and your stomach just all, look, imagine going through that, right? Bad nutrition affects that. Now let's talk about weight training and good nutrition. Obviously, muscle growth, muscle recovery, right? When you're consuming a good balance of carbs, proteins, and fats, all the good things happen when you train, right? Making sure that you have good, pre and post workout meals, your training is that much better. Weight training, bad nutrition, obviously not recovering as much as or as good as you should. It affecting your training, having bubble guts when you're trying to squat, right? Stuff like that. Having empty calories is not going to help you recover or fuel you. Maybe it might fuel you a bit, but you might feel like crap when you're doing it, right? The final word is this, guys. Whether it's cardio or weight training, what you feed your body obviously makes the biggest difference. So without proper nutrition, you're not going to get the maximum out of your effort. Just remember this. It's not about what's better universally, but what's better for you and your goals. So guys, make your pick, fuel it right, let's get those gains. Anyway guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time guys, make sure you guys binge watch my videos, and you guys know how it is. Iron sharpens iron, progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace.